It's a little chilly, and I can feel the autumn temperatures right here. And you know, I'm having a little bit of my pumpkin latte with a little pumpkin spice. So I'm getting in the mood because we want to be in the mood so that we can prepare delicious autumn dishes. So today we're putting together some pumpkin apple muffins, and they're going to be delicious, and you're going to like them, and so will everyone else. So stay right there and let's do this. I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. Today we're putting together an autumn apple pumpkin bread. And as you can see, I have the ingredients right here. We've got our vanilla. We have some little cupcake liners, pumpkin pie spice, as well as a little apple spice right behind it. Let's see if I can get to that. Is hiding my apple pie spice. And we'll talk about why we're going to include a little bit of both. I have some brown sugar, and I also have some regular granulated white sugar. We need salt. I'm going to spray the pan with a little coconut cooking spray. I've got the flour measured out, and I have some options. For those of you who like walnuts, we're going to add some walnuts. And for those of you who are Nestle's Toll House milk chocolate morsel folks, then you're going to like that too, because we're going to add a few of those in there. So we're going to kick up this autumn apple pumpkin bread. So let's get to it.
The kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme. I'm so glad that you're spending time in the kitchen with me. Our family loves to cook, decorate, and chat right here. And it takes all of those things in the kitchen to make a home a warm and happy place. The kitchen's the hub, the heart of the home. The time that we spend in the kitchen should be to love, nurture, encourage, and to guide our family and even friends sometimes over delicious meals are just across the counter. Your kitchen should be the place where everyone wants to come, have a seat, get a hug. You are invited to join our family by subscribing. Thank you to my new subscribers, and to those of you who have been on this journey for some time, thank you as well, because together we are building stronger families, one meal at a time.
Okay, let's get started. In the large bowl, we're going to put our flour and all of our dry ingredients initially. So I'm adding in 3 cups of flour. 3 cups that I've measured out. And I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. There's our cinnamon. Measure in 2 teaspoons. There's 1. And let's get in that second one too. 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. All right, I'll put the top on that because I have a tendency to knock things over. I'm also going to need in 2 teaspoons of baking soda, as well as 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So let me get my teaspoon. And I don't have to be terribly exact. That's about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. That's 1 heaping teaspoon of salt. Let's get our 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and then we're going to mix this up. I have my baking soda, so I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And then I'm going to try to make sure I get it pretty accurate. 2 teaspoons, there's 1. And get in 2. Okay, there's our 2. And let's give this a really good mix because we want that baking soda to mix in as well as, I'm going to use my whisk. Now I'm going to add, ooh, you can smell that cinnamon. It smells wonderful. Now I'm going to add in just a touch of pumpkin pie spice. Ooh, can't get that in. Let me, I'm going to cheat. So let me go to the side. Just going to sprinkle in a little. And you know, pumpkin pie spice has a different combination. It has a little cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves. And because we're using apples, I'm going to throw in a little apple pie spice. I'm going to say it's about 1/4 of a teaspoon of each. All right, that's done. Sprinkle my apples in there. And that is about a 1/2 cup. Got just a little bit left. Throw that in. Okay. In our small bowl, we have 4 eggs. I'm going to add in 1 cup of a neutral oil. We're using half and half brown sugar and half white granulated sugar. Okay. All right, got those. That's done. Now, I'm going to take it over to the mixer and we're going to mix this up nice and fluffy. I'm also going to add in a little apple cider. Guess I should go ahead and add that in. I need about a 1/2 cup. So I'm going to use one of my sugar containers because I already know that measures a 1/2 cup. So there's our 1/2 cup of apple cider, which is going to give us that flavor we want. We also need our pumpkin. We can't leave that out. We're over here at the mixer and I'm going to mix this well. We want to mix those eggs. I added in a cup of pumpkin. You know, I put in the apple cider. All right, so that takes care of that. Let me get my beaters out, and so I won't make a total mess, and set that off to the side. So let's take this over to our dry ingredients. Now we have our dry ingredients, we've mixed those up, and now we're just going to add in our wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. But before I do that, I'm going to add in a couple of caps of vanilla. And this is pure vanilla. There's 1, 2 caps. I'll just give that a good stir. Okay. Now, I will have the recipe down in the box below so that you will have it always. And because that's what it's all about, sharing. Did I make a mess? I probably did. I've been spilling things lately. What's going on with that? All right, so let's, using our whisk, we're going to get all of this mixed up. And you know, we don't want to over mix it. And while we've been doing this, I had the oven set on 350 so that it could come up to temperature and be ready to go. And make sure everything's nice and moist. So I'm going to get a little cup that I'm going to use to make sure that you're on the bottom so you won't have any dry pockets underneath. Now the one thing I haven't done, I haven't added any nuts or chocolate chips. Like I said, these are, it's up to you. Do you want them or not? And in this case, because I like to take things to a little higher level, I'm going to add in a good handful of chocolate chips. Well, let's say 2 handfuls of chocolate chips. Okay. And I'm going to add in some walnuts. And I'm going to say approximately about a half cup of, or 1/4 of each. And because we like nuts, I can add those. But if nuts aren't your thing, you know to leave it out, right? Okay, let me get my spatula. And fold it all in. We got our apples. We have our pumpkin. And I'm looking at this thinking, I had just a tiny bit of apples left. Guess what? No need in wasting. We don't want to do that. So I'm putting in the last of those apples. And we're ready to go. Now I'm going to set this off to the side and bring our cupcake tin over. I may even have enough to do a loaf. So let's see how it goes. to the oven.
The first batch is absolutely beautiful. It took about 20 minutes, but I put the oven, instead of on 350, on 325 convection bake. And that way I knew they wouldn't burn and would give them plenty of time to cook well and not dry out. So that was 325 convection bake for about 20 minutes. Can you smell these delicious autumn apple pumpkin muffins? Oh, it's wonderful. And I hope that you will have a seat at the table and that you will always come back, because you know that something delicious is going to be served. So I'll see you soon right here in the kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme.